Hey, so can I be heard? I sure hope so. Oh, here we go. Trying to stream again. I want to read the Marvel comics, but I think the internet's okay right now. So, do what you gotta do. But, yeah. Currently nobody. Can I just harp on why Better Call Saul is the best show ever? It's great. So, Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy completed. Absolutely. Read all three. Garbage. Garbage books where Boba Fett is a Gary Stew. There's no character development for Boba Fett. He's the same character he was before that. Nothing changes, no nuance. Boba Fett sucks in his own trilogy. Dengar was one of my favorite parts about Tales of the Bounty Hunters. Acts nothing like himself in the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy. Zuckuss is there for a second. He also is retarded in that series for some reason. There's no even hint of him being force sensitive like he is in Tales of the Bounty Hunters. In fact, it's almost as bad as with Aura Singh in TCW. Almost as bad as that. What else is there? Zizor wants to take over or destroy the Bounty Hunters Guild. I still can't fathom. I've tried. I really tried to sit down, read that, and understand why does Zizor want to destroy the Bounty Hunters Guild. And I'm just with Vader. Vader's like, you're retarded, and I'm inclined to agree because it really makes no sense. But we needed a story, I guess. Hello, Cody. I don't know. I had decent internet right now, so I decided to do something while I still had it before I started sounding like a robot. But I have no idea what this stream is about. I just wanted to start ranting again to how much Bounty Wars sucks, and I can say that with complete authority because I at least read all three of them. So I didn't know what to expect. You know, I hadn't heard anything about it. No one talks about it. Was it? I guess. Still, it just seemed like, well, we need Zizor to be antagonistic towards somebody. And so they just, I don't know. I tried really hard. All the characters don't act like themselves, with the exception of Boba Fett. But he's at his most Gary Stew in that trilogy. I mean, fair. I gotta be honest. I skimmed over when it started repeating the same thing over and over. He's like, we need to destroy it. This and this. Like, there's a perfect example in the first book where Zizor's talking to Palpatine and Vader, and like it's great for like the first 20 pages, and then it keeps going and going and going. The thing I hate most about the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy is the pacing. This guy does not know how to pace his stories. They feel so much longer than they are. Whereas in juxtaposition, when you read Traitor in NGO, that flies by. Like it didn't feel like it was however long it was, but I felt each and every page of the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy. Sorry, I haven't looked at the comment. Watching Better Call Saul right now? Well, you're blessed if you haven't finished it yet, because you still have some finale to get to. That's, I think, really the only way they could have ended it, which was great. Exactly, that's my point. It's one of the worst Star Wars trilogies I have ever read. I mean, yeah. Another thing I hated, and I discussed this in my review, which people won't see for like another 2 months because I'm like a million years ahead of my videos, but it's worse than Allegiance and Choices of One, both of which I was not too kindly to, which you'll see in the next couple weeks. But so Caesar, end of the second book, right? He's like, all right, Boba Fett's too much of a threat. He needs to die. All right, so we're going to get some epic, like, Zizor Boba Fett confrontation, right? And then 100 pages into the third book, in the past storyline, he's really doing it. He's really trying to destroy Boba Fett, really trying to end his pathetic existence or whatever. And then on a dime, because some random nobody tells Zizor something that as smart of a guy as he is, should already know, oh, Boba could be useful to you in the future, maybe. So maybe you should like let him live. And so he literally goes from shooting his ship down, planning full well to end Boba Fett's life, to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna let you live. Just like on a dime, it's like a page difference where he goes from intent to murder to just let him go. It makes no sense. Sorry, I'm so upset about this trilogy. It should be retitled A Waste of Time Trilogy and money. I still have the rest of season 5 and 6 to finish. I was always spoiled on some stuff. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. Well, still, I hope you enjoy the ride, because one of the greatest things that Better Call Saul accomplishes as a prequel and also a sequel is the fact that, yes, besides the Gene timeline, which is past Breaking Bad, but for most of the show, where Saul's heading. He's going to become the character you see in Breaking Bad. And so the fact that they still managed to make you care and be fully invested in what's going on in the past storyline, there you go. There's a perfect example of a show that actually knows writing that actually knows what it's doing, as opposed to the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy, which is garbage. I always, even in stuff I hate, I try to find positives within everything. I find absolutely nothing of value, because the story doesn't progress anybody's characters. In fact, it regresses literally just for a chapter. In the last book, Zuckuss and Forlom are in it, and it just backtracks everything that Tales of the Bounty Hunter set up, which is that they were going to join the Rebel Alliance. And then it goes, oh, well, things didn't work out with capturing Han Solo. And we decided to go back on being part of the Rebel Alliance. We're just gonna go we're gonna go back to being bounty hunters, I guess. And then they don't show up for like the rest of the book, or if they do, it's like for inconsequential things. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? But yeah, as for Better Call Saul, you have some great things to see in the next rest of the seasons. Oh yeah. I remember him thinking it was fine, at least from his original review during his expanding universe journey. He said it was fine. He said for what the premise was, it should have been more epic than it turned out to be. And I agree, except that I think I have a harsher opinion than Matt does. But he also did those reviews without actually rereading them. So I wonder what I am curious, because he also said that Wild Space was a good book, which it's not. That book is garbage. So I'm really curious to see what he has to say about the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy. All I know is I suffered through it. It was not fun, which is not what a hobby should be like. It felt like work, and I wasn't even getting paid for it. So it was annoying. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know what this is. I just I don't know. I had some free time. I want to get to fun stuff like the Marvel comics, because I'm getting closer and closer to that Lumaya arc, and I'm really excited because I've only seen her in Legacy of the Force, and I want to see the origins of her becoming a villain. Last I saw her, she was blown up by freaking Luke, so I'm excited to see that. And there you go. There's a strong female character in the 80s. Not to mention Terminator 2, or was that in the 90s? But regardless, Sarah Jane Connor is still awesome in the first Terminator. It started off okay, but I immediately noticed a pacing problem, which is my biggest issue. My first issue is the pacing, because everything feels much longer than it should be or is necessary. My other issue is that I gotta be honest, a biased perspective here. I've never found Boba Fett that interesting. The most interested I've been in him was in one of my favorite comics from Star Wars, which is the Blood Ties comics, with a fantastic art. I freaking love that comic. And then also him in Legacy of the Force. I'm sorry, but he actually gets character development. Because all he is, for all the OT trilogy and all of the New Republic era, is a really good bounty hunter. And if you read Tales from Jabba's Palace, a really good bounty hunter with a moral code, which is still more than the trilogy gave us. Because as far as the trilogy shows, he's just really smart. He's better than everyone. He's best everyone. A Gary Stew at its finest, and all he cares about is money. There's no even hint that there's anything deeper to his character in that entire trilogy. And I'm sorry, I just don't find Boba Fett being really awesome that great of a character trait. I just don't. I mean, yeah, I like Dengar more than Boba Fett. I think that Boba Fett, I actually like the prequels. I think it added more to Boba, being that he's a clone, which I'm sorry to all those who hate Karen Travis. It actually did something with that in Legacy of the Force. It provided consequences for the wife that he had at Conquer Dawn. Now, he's lived his life for 40 years as a nobody, just a bounty hunter, a shell of a man, and then all of a sudden he's got this family, or he's got this granddaughter, and he's got to reconcile with that. And also he's a clone, so he's got the time is ticking on him. He's got to find a way to still live. And I love that. It actually made me care about Boba Fett. And maybe that's a hot take to have, but that's one of the reasons I like Legacy of the Force. People go, well, it doesn't really have anything to do with the main story. So I also like Black Fleet Crisis, where Lando has a whole side plot that has nothing to do with the main plot, and I still loved it. So, I guess that's a fair criticism to say that it doesn't have much to do with the main story, but at least I'm consistent because I like both of those equally. Or I like both side plots equally, except that in Legacy of the Force, there's at least, even if people think it's stupid, Jaina does go to train with Boba Fett. So that is something. It does eventually connect. But that being said, I was just glad to actually care about Boba Fett for once, which I thought, maybe the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy would do. It didn't at all. Well, Cody, I have to be fair. I've never watched Book of Boba Fett, so I can't speak on that. But I don't know. A lot of people have memes of it. Like they make like memes of Book of Boba. So I imagine that it's at least like bad enough to make fun of. So like you can still have fun with it in that sense. There is nothing. There's nothing in the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy to even make fun of. Like, Stealth and Siege, at least has like the really stupid stuff, like with Anakin trying to get in Padme's pants in the next room while Bail and Obi-Wan are eating. Like, what the frick? But there's nothing fun. There's nothing fun to be had in most of the trilogy. There are certain sections that you could pluck out. Like, honestly, I think you would be better off if you really need the story here, which adds up to nothing, by the way. But if you really need the story, you're better off listening to the abridged audiobook, which I hate abridged audiobooks, but I'd probably tolerate this story more if it was the abridged instead of the full freaking 300 pages that these books were. Yeah, exactly. He went from a 2-dimensional character to a 3-dimensional character. To be fair, Tales from Jabba's Palace said that he had some sort of moral compass, which was something, but that's really the only story that said anything about that. So, other than that, he's just a bounty hunter who does bounty hunter things, and he's really good at it, and that's all he is. Dang, and Cody's even, I think, one of the ones in the Discord who doesn't like Legacy, and even he's admitted he's more interesting in Legacy of the Force. Hell yeah, Jedi Academy is great. And no, Noah's a memer. Or he hasn't read Bounty Hunter Wars in a long time. There is no way in hell that even if you despise Jedi Academy trilogy, there's no way in hell that Jedi Academy is less than Bounty Hunter Wars. That's like saying, I don't freaking know. What's a good comparison here? I don't know. That's like saying that Ezra Miller, with all the drama going on behind the Flash actor, that Ezra Miller is worse than Hitler. Like, no, they don't compute. They're not on the same ballpark in terms of bad. They're just not. I mean, I would love to know why, Blue Pig. What was good about Bounty Hunter Wars? Can you give me anything? Because as far as I understand, in order to make Boba Fett be as awesome as possible, they made every other bounty hunter suck. Zuckuss is retarded. He just is a lapdog that listens to Bosk. And Bosk, I mean, at least it's consistent. He was never that intelligent. And then, freaking, they did my boy Dengar horribly. Like he's just a wimp, right? And then they introduce this girl named Neela, right? And it's like, oh, she's lost her memory. So there's gonna be this like this big like grand reveal at the end of the trilogy, and it's not. She remembers who she is. She's slightly related to the main plot, only the fact that she is royalty to this certain place in the book, without spoilers. But it doesn't come into play to do anything. I guess. You know what's better, Blue Pig? You know what's better than the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy is 3 or 4, I don't remember, young adult books by Scholastic called Episode 2 Adventures by Ryder Wynnum, which made me more hyped for the trilogy than the trilogy itself, which is when it has Jango Fett interacting with Kradosk and Bosk and the Bounty Hunters Guild, because they also wanted Jango Fett to join the guild. That entire little young adult series is a million times better than the adult series we got. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, see, I'm in the minority here. I like Children of the Jedi and I like Darksaber. I don't like Twilight. Now, is this trilogy worse than Twilight, Planet of Twilight? Well, when I get to that book, I'll see how I feel about it. I remember Planet of Twilight being absolutely horrible. However, that's one novel that I have to suffer through, right? I think Children of the Jedi is okay, and I actually really like Darksaber, and then I despise Twilight. However, despising one novel in a trilogy, as opposed to having to suffer through 3 books. Tales of the Bounty Hunters is what made me like his character. And Bounty Hunter Wars craps all over Tales of the Bounty Hunters. He acts nothing like he does in Tales of the Bounty Hunters because he has to be retarded. Because I'm consistent with my, like woke or whatever, like, all that stuff. I'm not Phantom Menace, but like, it doesn't just apply to women. Boba Fett in this series is a Gary Stu, because in order for him to be the best, because there's other stories where he is the best, but the other bounty hunters are competent. He's just better than them. In this trilogy, they all have to become lesser in order for him to seem so fantastic. Dengar is stupid and a coward. Zuckuss is a lapdog for Bosk. Bosk, I guess, is consistent because he was never that intelligent to begin with. And then Zizor is doing his thing, but he's going to kill Boba Fett, and then he just doesn't, because one of his lapdogs is like, well, maybe you should let him live because he might be useful to you later. You don't think that that Zizor thought about that? But I guess it worked, because he, on a dime, like literally a page apart, changes his mind from killing him, which was like the whole big like hook at the end of the second book, right? He goes, oh, I must kill Boba Fett because he's a threat or something. And then 100 pages into the third book, and it's just dropped. And then it's just the main story, or the present day story, which is boring as frick, might I add. It's just, I think I hate series the most when they waste my time. When it's not even like bad that I can like get. I mean, I was angry that I wasted my time, but there's nothing in it that really pissed me off. It's just boring and tedious. And that shouldn't happen. You have all these elements that should work, right? You have the Bounty Hunters Guild, you have Zizor, you got Boba Fett, you got Dengar, you got all this stuff that should just work. It should just make it be. It should be one of the most talked about trilogies in all of Star Wars. Like, you got all this stuff going for you, and they do nothing with it, nothing at all. And so not a fan. I'm so happy that I'm gonna be going back to the Marvel comics because at least I can have fun again. Because I gotta be honest, it's been work. I went to work, actual work where I got paid, and then I had to work when I got home to read some more because I wasn't having fun. It was just a job that I was doing to make sure I read through the entire expanded universe as best I know how. To steal a Matt's quote. But I don't like being negative. I really like being positive. Even with stuff I hate, I always try to find the positive in everything that I read. Even if I don't like it, I'll try to be like, well, but this here was good or this here was good. I just personally don't like it as a whole. Um, but I could not with the Bounty Hunter Wars. Also, if anybody wants to join, there's the link. I don't care. I'm just doing something because I'm bored. I hope my audio sounds good, by the way. Nobody's home right now. They will be soon, but I was like, perfect time, right? Nobody's home, but yeah. You know what I will say about the Callista trilogy is I really like, because Luke's already pretty powerful by Children of Jedi, and I really like how they kind of like nerf him. I think the way they go about it is really good. Okay, good. If you're free, if you got a few minutes, you're more than welcome. But and then Dark Star is just so much fun. It's Kevin J. Anderson, guys. There's not a single Kevin J. Anderson book that I feel is bad. I will be completely intellectually honest and say that his books are not the most well written. They don't deserve any prizes or anything. They're very basic, I think, in terms of his writing style, bordering on like a young adult series with how he writes certain things. But at the same time, they are so much fun. Who'd you summon? But it's such fun. They're no Shakespeare. There's nothing phenomenal about Kevin J. Anderson's writing, but they're always fun. And he gave me Kip Duran, who I genuinely I love his character. I love that he, spends most of his life trying to atone for sins. And I love that because it's the story of redemption. The story of redemption rings true at the end of Better Call Saul. The story of redemption rings true for the original trilogy. And the story of redemption rings true for Kip Duran. And I love that. He's one of my favorite characters. So I will always give props to Kevin J. Anderson for that. And the fact that Kevin J. Anderson is just a team player. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll bring this in and that. Because, he's not a stuck-up prick like Don. Exactly. He is. He's in my top 10. I love Kip so much. I cannot stress that. And his relationship with Han, nothing's really happening in Jedi Search, right? They're finding Han and Lando, I think. We're going based off of memory. And Chewie, they go find Kip on Kessel, and they have this very sort of I don't know, uncle nephew sort of relationship, or like a surrogate father in a sense, where they have a really good chemistry, which I really appreciated. Because it was like imagine that you are Kip Duran and Han meets you, and that's kind of like how I felt because I empathized with Kip, and it was like that. Not that I was putting myself in Kip's shoes, but it was like, what if a normal person got to interact with the iconic characters, and then he became his own iconic character throughout, you know. In fact, I think, he shows up in the Jedi Academy trilogy, and then he doesn't appear again until Young Jedi Knights, if you're reading chronologically. So when I saw Young Jedi Knights, my face just lit up with joy. I was so happy to see him again. And then to find out how big of a role he had in Jedi Order just filled my heart with such joy. Every time he showed up, I was happy. Didn't matter what it was about. Didn't matter if he was arguing with Luke or not. I was just happy to see him. As you should. Well, guess what? My grandpa, I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I like Jaina and Jag. Plus, he felt more like an older brother to me. That was the vibe I got. But my grandpa, well, we got married the first time. That's how my aunt, my uncle, and my mom was born. Drama had in there, divorces. Then my grandma Melanie, he's been married for a very long time now, and they have 16-year age gap. So, you know, as long as you are all over 18, love can be found in a variety of forms. Kip's relationship with Han is the only aspect of the series I liked, which is why I was really disappointed Han was the one who brought him back. Fair enough. What the hell? I've never seen Noah on my stream because I don't stream, guys. I just show up on other people's because usually my internet is garbage. Noah's here. You can join if you want. Tell me why I'm wrong about everything. But I'm just I had decent internet now, so I figured not. Cody made an edit that he uploaded on YouTube. I did share it to another messaging site just because it had somebody from the group chat that wasn't in the Discord, so I figured he should see it at Lance. So it was really good. My internet is also currently garbage. Do I sound like garbage? I did pin it. Oh, I didn't pin it. Never mind. Pin. Wait, not this. Oopsie doop. This. There it is, pinned. Do I sound like garbage, guys? He says it sounds like that the internet is garbage. Oh my goodness. I have a legend. No, he's gonna show. I sound like a robot? Damn it. Well, let's get the German on here.
Hello.
How are you? I'm sorry I sound like a robot.
Not anymore.
Oh, is it like in and out like that?
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay. Yeah, it's inconsistent like that.
All right.
What are you up to?
Currently nothing. I think I have to continue reading Fate of the Jedi Ascension.
Yeah. I just finished Bounty Hunter Wars. As I said, this morning I finished it. I did the review, and as I was reviewing it, I got angrier and angrier during it, and it got to the point where I dropped my book at first, and so I accidentally let out the F word, and I was like, oh, because I was still recording, but I just went with it anyway. And then by the end of it, I just chucked it against the wall. So that was
damn.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that review to come out.
I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, not even with like Denning books.
Yeah.
I just can't damage them.
That's fair. It's not too damaged, but still chipped at the bottom. But other than that, it's fine. After you finish Fate, Star Wars books that are actually good. Yeah.
That's my plan. That's my plan. I have so many fucking books lying around I have to read. But that's the problem I have. Quality Autism is now a fucking Star Wars channel.
Well, it could become autism of anything, I'm sure.
Yeah, but people won't watch it.
Well, the dedicated ones will.
Yeah.
Like once I finish Star Wars, I have a bunch of other sci-fi stuff that I want to get through.
Yeah, but I imagine like me doing like stuff on James Bond or the spaghetti westerns or whatever I'm currently reading. I don't think people will stick around just for my sex appeal. I'm no Matt Wilkins.
That's true.
No one can be Matt Wilkins. I mean, even you're currently trying to be Matt Wilkins with his picture.
Yeah, well, when I did my my Lando Calrissian review, I put on glasses and a slightly nicer shirt, but I did not have the balls to do it. Matt Wilkins did, and just
half naked in his review.
Yeah, with stale the root beer. Star Wars or not? Oh, well, this is where Noah would say, or use the GIF on the Discord. You're not very important to me.
Indeed.
As for
this, go up, Sivers.
Oh, guys are getting a taste of the new Moffreds. Yeah, here's a test pilot, I guess.
Oh
Except
no.
except I have no goal of this stream. I just started one.
Yeah, just randomly. So that's a random stream.
Yes, I literally
And
just
it can't be called a Moffrins.
yeah.
Civet, just to be clear.
Yeah, I have no
The
goal. A
name has to go.
Moffrins has usually an actual goal, a subject of the video that is
Yeah, and we
discussed,
follow that subject for about 10 minutes
and then it goes off
to
course.
30 minutes if it's good. But then yeah, it goes off the rails.
Eh, it'd be bowling if Noah took it personally, but he doesn't.
I should put
Noah is nice on streams. It's a
yeah.
whole different ballpark when you get into his realm.
Yeah, because then I'm the king.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
Cody's comment up here. I want captions in English like on my videos, but the only way that works is like if I do it manual. Like I have to type in the actual text,
Mm,
and that's just too much work. That's
yeah. You need
just
to
not possible.
get a translator to do all of it for you.
Yeah, because I looked at it and it was like because I wanted like not like auto-generated subtitles because
Yeah,
those
no,
would
'cause those
suck.
suck. Mm.
So I looked into it. How can I do it like professional subtitles? And it would have to be timed. Like you actually have to type in like the specific time. Like if I say something now, like in the span of 5 seconds, you have to like mark it like beginning and end in the video, and
Yeah, that sounds
that's
like a
just too
hassle.
much. Yeah, it is.
So, what's the first thing you plan on reading once you finish your Star Wars reviews?
All of my Star Wars reviews.
Yeah.
I'm thinking because I want to take a short break after I finished Fate of the Jedi. Well, that's a lie. I'm gonna read the 2 short stories and then I'm gonna take a break before reading Mercicle. But
Two Star Wars
after
North says Adobe Premiere does fairly well with auto captions.
okay,
So you might want to look into that. Two Star Wars Nerds is also awesome. They mostly talk about like the prequels and stuff, though. At least so far. But
I
they're
thought you were gonna say they mostly talk about Star Wars.
no, yeah,
Surprisingly,
yeah. Well, actually, the first thing he mentioned when he came in here was Star Trek, and I was like, well, if it was Noah's stream, that'd be a problem. But
mm-hmm.
do you make your videos on scripts, or do you just say whatever comes to your head? Because then you can just translate your script to English.
I just talk random shit.
Same. I just kind of.
I mean, I make some notes here and there, but
yeah, I make like. I was never the best annotator when I was in school. What I usually do is, if I think it's going to be important to the overall plot, I'll jot it down. Or if I just find it interesting, I'll write it down. And then I'll just kind of talk about it when I finish a book, preferably like right after I finish it. So it's fresh in my head. And I just kind of do it like as if I was talking to a friend at like work or something about something I just finished. So that's kind of the vibe I try to give off. But yeah.
So I'm still thinking about what I'm gonna read. I have so much shit lying around here. I run out of fucking space for my books. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have that many. Most of my stuff is digital copies. I have some physical copies because another YouTuber just decided to send me a bunch of books, and I was like, I mean, all right, thank you, thanks. And so now I have them. But yeah, and then I sent some extras to Two Star Wars because I had some that I already had. So, oops. Yeah. Put some books under your bed.
That's not possible. There's so much shit under my bed.
I might have to move some into my closet. Jeez.
You have a closet, man. You have it lucky. I
You
have
a closet?
one. I don't have a closet. I have one room.
Hmm.
The room I'm recording in.
Yeah, that is the problem with becoming a collector, or just liking books in general.
Yeah,
Space.
I just ordered some more today. So yeah.
You gotta get a storage space. You just put books in.
Yeah.
But When was the last time you read Bounty Hunter Wars, by the way? Because
When I did my reviews for it,
how
when
long
was
ago was
let
that?
let me check. It's on my channel.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say now, no matter how negative you are about like the Jedi Academy, I think if you reread it, I don't think you'd be able to say that it's worse than, or not worse than, or that Jedi Academy's worse.
I remember enjoying Bounty Hunter Wars more. Oh, 2020.
Because it was my issues the pacing. That's oh no, how long? And people come home, and that's when the internet will be the worst.
Yeah, someone's internet is dying right now. Oh, it's Alex. That's good. Okay.
Damn.
I'm glad that this time it's not me.
Yeah, because it's my stream, which means I have all the problems. Is it still crappy?
Now it's fine.
Inconsistent bastard.
Okay, Cody, do closets not exist in Germany? You mean like the ones you can walk in? That's like an actual like little room? No, at least not in my house.
But up next, I got the rest. Pretty much just all of the remainder of the Marvel comics. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, those are good.
Yeah, I got Lumaya showing up eventually, so that's gonna be interesting. And the Nagai War, so that's gonna be fun because I've heard a lot about that, but I haven't read it. So
Oh, you're in for some surprises.
yeah, yeah. And then I got the X-Wing comics and Shadows of Mindor, and I'm gonna take a break to read that fan fiction by Hand of Thrawn.
Mm.
And then everything else from there is pretty much I already know
Wait,
about.
wait. Does this mean
Hmm.
you're gonna read Jedi Prince?
I will
Because
read Jedi Prince and your fan fiction when it comes
right
up.
after. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
right
good.
after. Yeah, it's gonna be because it's my headcanon finale to the whole thing.
All right,
So
that's good.
and it's translated, so I won't have to spend way longer than necessary actually reading the whole thing this time.
Hmm.
Because Google Translate is a jerk. Yeah, the Forgotten War, as the Guide to Warfare calls it.
No, I think that was an online article first.
Oh,
But yeah,
was it? Hmm.
I wish that was still readable. I think it's gone.
There is Revan, there Noah here wrote a trilogy concluding the story of Jedi Prince. So it's on fanfiction.net. It's just the username is Quality Autism, and you can find those fanfictions there. I think they're really faithful to the actual story from memory, anyway. I didn't
Mhm.
actually review them though the first time, so that'll be fun when I go through it again. But if you want a conclusion, since it doesn't really end, Noah's is the one to go. It doesn't seem to contradict anything from memory, and it has a lot of EU connections. Yeah,
Mhm.
you love Jedi Prince, as you should. Also, there's a lot more Ken. A lot more Ken love. New villain, Azrakul, very cool.
Mhm.
And there are robot Ewoks. So if that
That's something.
sounds
Yeah, that
amazing,
sounds. Yeah, it is amazing. That's something I wondered. I have to ask Matt Wilkins about it because now he's also read it finally, and I don't think he talked about what he thinks about Lando and the Ewoks.
yeah, I wanted to know what Matt thought about that. That was the part I was waiting for. I wanted him to like geek out about it and be like, "I love Ewoks, and now they're Terminator Ewoks. This is great." But he didn't mention it
Yep,
at all.
we need to ask him if he's awake right now. I don't know what time it is for him.
I'm pretty sure the wedding gets interrupted. I think that's the because it continues like right after the
Oh
last
yeah, that's the
book.
first. That's so the books are called. The first one is book 7, so to speak, is Shadows of Obi-Wan, and chapter 1 introduces the new villains. Chapter 2 picks up immediately with the wedding, which ended book 6, Prophets of the Dark Side.
It is excellent. It continues the story, I think, pretty well. It gives more with Ken, which was nice, and it is not contradictory, which is kind of my standard for if I'm going to accept a fan fiction or not. Like, what if stories are cool and all, but like I don't really care about them. Only way I'm going to accept a fan fiction is if it mostly doesn't contradict the legitimate lore, which
And
seems to be the case with Noah's work.
yeah, and I had to tell you like about all the connections in it.
Yeah,
Because
with
you
like the
probably
wheel.
didn't know. Yeah, but you probably didn't know about like Ezrekill and the Grand Admiral Makati.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, just like Matt Wilkins, he also didn't know it.
Yeah,
And there you go. I did my research.
yeah. Which is what every EU author should do: is research, research, research.
Mhm.
Oh, that was one of my biggest things. Go back to Bounty Hunter Wars real quick. So the third book, Hard Merchandise. First chapter has Zuckuss and Forlome, and then they're just gone for the rest of the book. And all it is so in the Tales of the Bounty Hunters, they go and join the rebellion. Well, apparently after episode 5, they just went, well, things didn't work out for us, so we're gonna go back to being bounty hunters. And then they don't show up again. It's so stupid. It's just a chapter. It's meaningless. They show up. They say, "Oh, well, you know what that other story said? Frick that. We're doing this now." And then they're gone for the rest of the story. So I don't even do anything with it.
Sorry, Blue Pig was just destroying my Discord server.
Oh, of course he was.
So I banned him
Oh, of course.
for another hour. Good luck, you asshole.
He's just gonna come back on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, after I finish the X-Wing comics and Mindor, I'm pretty much knowledgeable of everything moving forward, minus Crimson Empire, and then the
Okay.
Invasion comics and Crystal Star, because those are the only things I missed first time through.
Invasion. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit through that, and the Chewbacca comic, which I didn't read either.
And the Chewbacca comic is nice.
Yeah, I imagine it's a nice little epilogue.
But Jesus Christ, Invasion is really horrible.
Yeah. Well, you know how you can make it better? Ken Palpatine.
Yeah, my sequel idea. Because literally the only good thing in Invasion is the character of Dre. He's awesome. And the rest sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I should do? I should do like an Alien Free sort of thing, where I write my own like fanfiction continuation. And in the first, like in the prologue, fucking Finn Gelfridian dies.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Just kill him off.
Man, that would be awesome.
Okay. Start. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I second Cody's comment. It's time to Thanos the server.
No.
No. The purge needs to happen.
No purge.
No purge. But yeah, after I finish the Star Wars universe again, I'm gonna finish off the trilogy that I was reading with Kevin J. Anderson of the Doom books. And I'm also gonna get into Halo because I like the Halo games. And the timeline's a bit harder to do because a lot of the books have like the Fall of Reach book is technically like right before the first game, but there's a bunch of flashbacks. But since the main part of it is technically right before the games, I'll probably hold off on that, which means the first 2 books I get to read once I finish the Star Wars universe are both written by Troy Denning. So that'll be interesting. To see how he reads in another franchise. Noah still needs to read the Wheel of Time.
I will at some point, but I'm exhausted from long book series, okay? I just need a break. I'm gonna read some shorter books, some classics maybe, and then we will see. I have them, I will read them at some point.
Yeah, I've only heard about it from Matt and others, but it seems like it'd be a good series that I will probably eventually read too, but not for a while because I'm not much of a fantasy guy. So there are a few fantasy I like Lord of the Rings, but I've always been more of a sci-fi guy. But just the issue with not being as popular as you. Not enough
Mhm.
cons. Well, yeah, Star Wars is a fantasy, but for some reason it's more acceptable to me than a lot of other fantasy, I guess. But I don't know. It's Star Wars is more fantasy than sci-fi, but that one's acceptable to me, I guess.
Oh no, Sivert is right. I need to read Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Have you read it before?
I've read The Hobbit, and I have read like the first 150 pages
Hmm.
of Fellowship when I was younger,
Have you have you seen the
but I didn't.
films or only read the
I have
150
never seen
pages of
the
the?
films. I
Hmm.
have seen the first two Hobbit movies for some reason. I
Oh,
remember I saw the second one in the cinema. I don't know why, because I never go to the cinema.
yeah, yeah.
But I watched that one.
Those are the ones. Another prequel that's mostly hated, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that uh, the book itself is fairly short, and so they stretch out and add things that aren't necessary in that trilogy. Um,
Yeah, I've noticed that.
that being said, I really like Bilbo Baggins, or the guy that got playing him. I think he did an excellent job as Bilbo, and um, I really like the second. I think the weakest one for me is 3 because it's literally just a big action scene for 2 hours. But
Mhm.
I rather I don't like the first two as much as Lord of the Rings, but there's a lot of heart in it, which I think is the most important to me. Cinemas don't exist in Germany.
I wish.
The first 150 pages are the worst ones.
Well, good to know.
I need to reread them. I read them a long time ago, and I don't remember much. I remember the films of Lord of the Rings much better than I remember the books.
I've never seen them.
No, they
This
don't have
is like
technology in Germany.
obviously not. You have seen my internet connection.
Yeah,
But yeah, like when was it? Like yesterday or a couple days ago, when the fucking
yeah,
uh,
yeah. And the
meme video got posted.
yeah,
Remember about with the Lord of the Rings scene?
yeah,
I
yeah. It's from
had
the two towers.
I had
No
fucking
idea.
zero context. I was so fucking confused watching it.
Well, it's basically there's like this possessed and so he like looks all gross and stuff. And shows up and basically exorcises the demon, even though it's not a demon. But that's kind of how it comes across. But
Mhm.
that's basically the context. Also, technically, I don't know if it's really a spoiler. I guess it kind of dies by the end of the first movie and book, but then shows up again too, because in the huge lore of J.R.R. Tolkien, he's
So okay,
like
so
a
the amazing
angel.
Alex,
Mm.
Alex, the amazing thing is your connection just fucked up completely and you turned into a robot, and I couldn't
Oh,
understand which character dies. So you
okay,
didn't spoil
good then.
anything. Please keep it
Yeah.
that way.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Well, basically in the lore, Gandalf is an angel, so that's why he could kind of like exercise stuff, and he goes from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White
Mhm.
in that scene for the film. German internet kicking back in. No, this is my stream, so it's American internet. It's just crappy, which means if mine's crappy. I can only imagine on a normal day.
Oh boy, this is getting out of hand.
It's because I need to put my. Do I still sound like garbage?
Yeah, you sound like a robot. Yeah.
It might be time to end it then.
All right. And yeah, just so you guys know, this is not gonna replace the Mothrans.
Yeah, I'm not
Listen,
worthy.
I
I'm not
I I might keep Alex as a guest star if he gets better internet connection, because we can't have German and American internet be complete shit. It's just gonna fuck over everybody.
okay right now.
No, you sound even worse than before.
Well, usually when I join the stream, it's fine because I usually sound fine. It's only when I stream myself that it gets like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it should join your streams the same internet quality, and that's fine.
But yeah. Okay, let me quickly talk about Fate of the Jedi, by the way. Quickly.
Okay.
Books 1 through 5 were fun. Flawed, but fun. And then came book 6, Vortex, by Troy Denning. And that was the shatter point. And not even Aaron Alston could save the series after that. Because Conviction wasn't good.
The one place where we can agree with the Denning verse is that pretty much for Fate of the Jedi on the Legacy comics, I didn't enjoy it. In fact, I remember being pretty negative in my reviews. Fate.
I would say second half of Fate of the Jedi is bad. The first half is fine. It still has its problems, but it's fine. And then the second half, just starting with Vortex, it's just out of control. It just breaks down completely.
Yeah. I retread with the politics and everything at the temple, and I can't Jane bag that much or the whole because there's gonna make up anyway. Really. Oh frick.
Yeah. Okay. Now it was fine. Say something.
Hello.
Okay. Can hear you.
Okay. I was really disappointed with Abeloff. Much more than she acted.
Okay, now it's bad again. Wow, this is. Do I sound like this sometimes? For you people in my previous streams? That's horrible. I don't know if Alex is still here. If not,
is it okay?
I was gonna say you're gonna leave and I'm gonna take control over the stream.
Am I okay at the moment?
Yeah. Yeah, at the moment.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna say goodbye. And thanks for everybody showing up. Thanks, Noah, for coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, good luck with finishing Fate of the Jedi.
Yeah. I will try my best to finish it.